Alrighty, Gatekeeper here. We have a very, very nice Gatekeeper 1x4 5 transistor amp. 4 transistors on the final, 1 on the driver. It's 1446 driving 4x2879s. I think this is I've had very few amplifiers come back so far. Luckily, I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed for repairs. This is the first repair in probably 2 years. You know, I don't build a lot of amps, so. But the story behind this was the fellows that this was, or this, excuse me, the fellows that this is, that owns this. I think it got a little heated with somebody out there, and I've asked around, and he told me, a couple other people tell me, from 1 hour interval, he had this box probably keyed anywhere from 35 to 40 minutes total out of 1 hour. And I am very surprised that it made it through that kind of harshness. And he got very lucky, did not blow any transistors. All it did was take out the 104s on the driver section, and that's what you want to happen instead of taking out a transistor. So let's go ahead and show you the inner workings of it. Alrighty. Got the voltage regulating circuit right there. He runs it on a non-regulated power supply, so got that regulation circuit right there for him, so that fan stays one constant speed. This section right here is what was blown. I had I believe 8 104 500 volters, and I replaced it with 6 1 kilovolt. The ones that were on there were about 3 or 4 times smaller than these, so that's what you do, man. When something fails on the amplifier, beef it up. That's what it's all about. Trial and error. Trial and error. Let me just scan around this amp real slow and let y'all take a look at the inner workings of it. It's a really unique build.
Daddy, when you zoom in?
Just a second, buddy. Let me get done with this video. That's a 3 kilovolt right there. I don't think too many builders have picked up on this yet, but a lot of people waste waste three 1000 picofarad caps right here when there's absolutely no reason to, because this is not taking a load hardly at all. I mean, this right here will never get hot. I have never felt these particular caps ever get warm, ever. These will. These I have not ever felt. So I got smart and bought a couple of 3000 picofarads, so instead of having to put 3 caps there, you got 1. That's the way I look at it. Here's another thing I see a lot of people doing that I try to never do. A lot of people will put a 2-watt 100 ohm right here from the variable. It don't matter what it is, how cheap of a box, it does not matter. I always throw a 100 ohm 5-watt. Reason being, somebody turns this amp right here all the way down, the further down you have that variable, the more that resistor is working. That is making sure that if there's any DC in the signal, it's shunted to ground, and it's also helping dissipate the extra wattage that is being resisted against straight to ground. So the more you have that turned down, the hotter that's going to get. And I have seen numerous of amps with little 2-watt resistors in there, just brown and charred and burnt. So I always like to put a 5-watt to give it a little bit more durability. This right here, of course, is overkill, but like I said, this is more of an overkill type amp here. I meant to mic those 2 trimmers in. I can't remember why I didn't, but nah. The fella's amp this is, he's a very, very, very experienced operator, so I don't mind leaving trimmers in. Let you slowly look through this amp here. You know, nothing too special, regular 5-pil, but you know, with a little twist. I like this style. Instead of using just one 16 gauge, what I've done is utilize 2 16 gauge wires per transformer. 2 16 gauge wires per transformer. And this is the combiner. Just looking at this, it almost looks like all this has got to do with RF, but this is actually the DC going to the output transformers. And there's your combiner for your RF right there. So, you got the preamp. Utilized with some big 4 gauge. Really overkill. It's for the fan. Got this right here and got it grounded to the board for extra ground in case he uses a Y-mote, the wireless remote that I've compiled. Alrighty, well there you go. She's back up in working order, and she's actually doing a little bit more power than she did before she left. Got broken in. Here's another thing I want to say before we do an output test. I'm about to show y'all that you can get good watts out of even small transformers. I'm going to show y'all. A lot of people think them small transformers ain't worth the crap. Nah, they just don't understand. Them transformers doing exactly what they are meant to do. This box was built exactly the way it should have been built for the user that's using it. Now, if this was somebody that was going to be running this in a mobile, something like that, I'd probably put some big 5/8s on there. If it was somebody wanting to be running some volts, I'd probably put some 1.5 or 2 inches on there. Alrighty, let's go ahead and do an output test on this booger. Alrighty. Alright. I'm using a different radio. Mine croaked on me, so this radio does a little bit more watts. Just a little bit than my other one. It's kind of close. About 25 watts, 20 to 25 watts. Alrighty. This right here is sideband or SSB delay. There's your preamp, as you can hear. That preamp works very wonderful. Alrighty, variable all the way down. This variable don't do much justice, y'all, but here we go. Oh, oh, oh. See if I can get this glare out of here. Oh, oh, all right, about 560 watts. Almost done, buddy. Let's go halfway. Oh. Oh, oh, Look at that SWR. Oh, look at the input tune here. This thing is tuned beautiful. This is why this. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna go ahead and stop for a second. This right here is why this fella was able to keep this damn thing keyed for, let's just say, the bare minimum 30 minutes during an hour. 30 to 40 minutes during a 1 hour period, because this thing is tuned superbly. I spent a lot of time tuning this damn thing, man. This thing is tuned very well. I make sure to be extra careful with amps with drivers in them, because I ain't gonna lie, I'm scared of them. You don't tune them jokers right, buddy, you're gonna have some problems on your hands. And I have a fear. Let's just use the word fear. You tune it right, you won't have nothing to fear. But I fear them. It's a good word, I fear them. So I'd be extra careful to tune them properly. Here's the input tune right here. 10-watt slug. Look at that, don't even hardly move. Alright, we are peaking about 700, 750 watts, halfway. Let's go ahead and crank her all the way up. Oh yeah, I'm gonna let you know, we're on a 16 volt float, and here's what we're gonna be dropping to. That's 13.3 volts. 13.3 volts. So y'all watch this right here. Only reason it's doing this much watts because this radio is pumping a little bit of good power through it. But that is dropping to about 13.3, 13.5 volts. Let her rip, potato chip. About 960 on that go around. 974 watts. See if we can't get her warmed up and get that kilowatt out of her. Alrighty. Alrighty, 970 watts. Show y'all the dead key all the way up. Right, don't say nothing, okay? Hold on 1 second.
Where's your phone?
Shh, right here. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing.
No, I thought about your phone.
Shh.
Where's your phone?
Don't say. I'm holding it, okay? I'm doing a video. Don't say nothing. I need to get a video. I need to see how much this thing's dead key. Hold on. Shh. So we got about a 68 to 100 watt dead key all the way up. We're dead keying about 0.5, 0.7 of a watt into it. Audio. Alrighty, right there about 960. I had it doing about a kilowatt earlier, but
Don't watch the video. Don't watch it. Enough. That was enough.
Alrighty, so that's about 960 watts PEP on 13.5 volts. Sorry about that, y'all. It's about time to get a little Gatekeeper in the bed. But that is 960 watts. Boy, get your goddamn butt in the bed, you little ball dropping cotton picker, you. Get your butt in the goddamn bed, son.
No. No water beer.
Alright, 960 watts on 13.5 volts is